The logic and reasoning behind analyzing consumption and waste statistics published onto Medium.com by Bryan Mullins the Fox, on April 28, 2023. Here's the thing, there should be logic and reasoning behind the numbers that you are presenting as either the data or statistics. You can't just regurgitate very misleading numbers that don't tell you anything. Like the notorious 22 million number from the University of Illinois Extension webpage, concerning how many roast turkeys are consumed each year for Christmas back in 2011. Or that Time.com article from 2014, I used to debunk contradictory consumption statistics in nearly 4 years ago. The one where I got the 318 million number from. It's one thing where consumption is on par with waste, it's another where food waste supersedes consumption even though the consumption statistics are still there to be accurately measured. It's one thing where people tend to just waste the turkeys or hams they had planned to consume beforehand and not consume them at all, the roast game era, which is one of the two sides of the same coin. The other side is a darker side of the same phenomenon. Selective cannibalism done towards a child who had the nerve to be intelligent enough to not believe in Christmas or question the authority in their lives about the veracity of their deeply held beliefs and values. And only leaving 13,383 behind to proverbially live their entire lives with all that trauma and knowing that they would have added to the death toll, had they not have a sudden change of heart just like their entire families did. It's something totally different, when there is just no exact or accurate way to measure how many of these turkeys are consumed for a certain holiday, Christmas, on average, for each year. Some would have to go to such absurd lengths, i.e. stealing stats from a different country and use it as if it came from your country. But, you can't analyze consumption stats and provide any explanation of positive numbers, when waste stats supersede consumption stats. Here is how the law of non-contradiction works in this situation. 1. You can't factually and accurately analyze people consuming a food or an animal and not analyze them wasting the said food products in the same sense, at the same time. Because if there simply is no consumption stat of the meat product that doesn't contradict itself, when there's a way you can analyze waste stats that don't contradict themselves. 2. You can't just regurgitate meaningless numbers with no methodology or reliable source and steal stats from a different country in the same sense, at the same time. 3. There can't be a conspiracy to hide numbers that don't exist and can be a conspiracy concerning numbers that can accurately exist at the same sense, at the same time. Before I let you all go, I'm glad I got this off my back, because it's so elementary to not be so wrong about data and statistics. That's why the numbers I provided you all in the last article were based on proper mathematical methodology, and not just based on assumptions and uneducated guesses. That's why there's logic behind my big magnum opus of a factual claim that I base the topic of the roast game off of. And finally, if there's simply no other way to look at the statistics, you just Google search or read off an uneducated, ignorant, or dishonest fake news article without a preconceived bias. There's no other way to convince someone like you who already have one.